Ladies and gentlemen, let's get our guest speaker up here. She's a regional vice president. She said about a month or so, she says, Mr. Thomas, I'm cleaning the deck. I'm going straight in, brand new. I'm coming in like an airplane on a carrier. I'm coming in hot. Look out, I'm coming in hot. And I'm going to start off like I just started, like I've never done before. She just moved to a beautiful place. She moved into a gated community right there on the lake. She's doing her meetings on the lake. She's doing she's doing Zoom calls on the lake. If you ever see her calls, she's sitting there just drooling like, oh my God, I want her lifestyle. I want, man, look at her on the lake. And I tell you what, we're so happy to have her back today. We're glad that we got a chance to pull her off the lake to come on here to start us off on Monday, the last Monday in the month of July. So without further ado, let's get on Regional Vice President, the one and only, Miss Keri Roeder.
Good morning. Good morning. Honestly, Mr. Thomas, I really wish that you would like walk in front of me everywhere I go. You make me just feel so amazing. It's so fun just to start my Monday mornings off like this with you and this incredible organization. And it's the last Monday in July. And the first Monday of the month that I get to talk, I always get so excited. And then the last one, I always get so sad. So it's like, wink, wink. Yes, I will put September on my calendar. Thank you very much. It's always just a privilege and an honor when you ask me to be a part of these calls, because you could literally select from 100 different leaders and you choose me, and it's really is truly an honor. And for those of you who are new on this call, congratulations and welcome. And I want you to understand the weight of the man who just opened our call. Mr. Al Thomas literally has been documented for his success, not just in ACN, but in the industry globally for over 3 decades, written in magazines, but he's internationally recognized for his success. And we get to have him here on this intimate basis, which is amazing. So my saying is always, don't take him for granted, take advantage of him, use his as information and his guidance to do the work that it takes to be successful, to have the lifestyle that it is that he has. Because Mr. Thomas is one of my main mentors, and over these 15 years, I've gotten to know him on a really personal basis, and we have a lot of private conversations, and I know his heart. The reason why he gives us all his time is his heart is he wants every single one of us to have the lifestyle that we choose. So he gives us the information. We just need to do the work, right? And so, Mr. Thomas, so that you know, I have 3 personal PBRs scheduled, and obviously plugging everybody into Saturday trainings. And then we're going to have a live in-person training in 2 Saturdays from now on August 8th in the Northern California marketplace. So I'm going to be plugging, funneling everybody into those from my own personal PBRs, and then the results that come from that. I know everybody else in Northern California is working hard as well. So we're doing the work, Mr. Thomas. And when this unlocks, it's going to be incredible. And we're going to have you up here for some regional events and everything like that. So I do appreciate you, like I said, allowing me to be a part of these calls. And so I was thinking about this. So I just got back from a leadership in Palm Desert with Senior Vice President, Mr. Jeff Weber, Regional Vice President, Mr. Dean Terrali, Regional Vice President, Mrs. Jocelyn Driscoll, and Regional Vice President Platinum, Ms. Renata Krumer, who's often on, all of them are on these calls. And I got to share the stage with all these amazing people, and soon to be Senior Vice President Laura Noches. We've all promoted her. But I got to share that stage with her, and that experience was really amazing. And it's so humbling. It really is just a humbling experience when people ask you to provide a platform. They provide a platform to allow us to share our information. And this is one of those platforms, and I'm grateful. And I know this month of July, I shared a lot of personal stuff. And it's funny, Mr. Thomas, I went back to listen to one of them from this month, and I was like, do I really talk that fast? So I'm going to slow it down, Douglas. Anyway, I know I talk that fast. But I shared a lot of personal information this month. And then I also did a little bit in Palm Springs. And the people who came up to me to thank me for sharing, my personal journey. So to catch you all up, last Wednesday, I received the documentation of my divorce. Yay! So I'm officially divorced. But the journey that I went through in the last couple of years, Mr. Thomas knows every ounce of that journey because he's been a part of my support in getting me through this journey. But finding peace, love, and joy through that loss, it was a big loss. We were together for 27 years, and I had a vision of what our old age was going to look like. Right, our grandchildren were going to be crawling on our laps, and the vision of walking, him walking our daughter down the aisle and sitting next to me. So I had all of these. Thank you, Marvita. I had all these visions of what my life was going to look like, and when some things happened and it shifted, and then the divorce started, obviously that shifted my world, right? And for me, part of the intimate personal things I've been sharing with you this month of July is going through that journey. What I'll tell you is this: when you lean on God, when you lean on your mentors like Mr. Thomas, when you lean on your friends like some of the people on this call, you can get through anything. And ACN isn't just about making money. Yes, we're here to make money. We're here to have all those things. ACN also provides us an environment where we can support each other, because when we can support each other off the court, meaning, non-ACN environment, then we can all thrive and flourish together. And my finding peace and joy, now I'm saying peace, love, and joy, but finding peace, love, and joy is the most beautiful thing for me. That I was having a private conversation with somebody who was at Palm Springs, and she pulled me aside after and just had a really private conversation. And I promised her that when you go through the muck, right? When you go through the crap, when you go through the ugh, when you force yourself, you allow yourself to go through that ugh, you get through the other side. And that's where for me, that's where I found peace and joy. And ACN is not any different, you guys. When you get started, right? And you're like, wow, I'm gonna be rich. Wow, I'm gonna have Mr. Thomas's lifestyle. I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna go on a cruise and have all that fancy food and all that thing at the last minute. Well, yes, but you have to go through the muck. The muck is doing the work that it takes to get through, to get to ETL, to get to RC, to get to RD, to eventually get to RVP, and then duplicate yourself at RVP to then go senior vice president. It's the muck that people don't want to go through. And that's where I have a bunch of notes here. So I talk a lot about mindset, right? And I think some of you put it together with our ACN business. I think some of you think I just teach mindset. The mindset that I teach very much applies to building ACN. And again, I can see myself, so I'm talking to me too. Okay. But finding peace and joy, when you can actually be in a place where you're authentically you, that is where success happens. And whether it's ACN, your traditional businesses, your job, your relationships, right? Whatever. When you find peace and joy and you can be authentically you, that's where success happens. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions today. First question is how do you start and how do you end your day? How do you start and how do you end your day? To find, and this is just me, this is my experience, to find peace, love, and joy, and to have success, the success you desire, you need to be intentional. You have to be intentional. When I started the divorce journey, I was intentional on allowing myself to go through the muck, to go through the pain, to go through all of the 5 stages of grief and loss in order to come out to the other side. So be intentional in building your business. Be intentional in whatever personal development you need to go through in order to go through the muck successfully of building ACN to get to regional vice president, to get to senior vice president. So some tips. Mr. Weber yesterday on stage said, no TV. He goes, take your TV and throw it out the door or throw it out the window. And I started giggling, right? But he said, no TV. He said, quote, it promotes laziness and negativity. Like it's nothing but negative. So I wrote that down. I was like, right, he's a senior vice president. Hello, we should kind of listen to that. Now, I'm a little realistic, right? So if you're going to watch TV, fine. Like last night when I got home from the flight, I was super tired, right? And took my shower and I went out to just relax. And I was like, oh, I'm going to turn on the TV. So, but what I chose to watch was For the Love of the Game. So I don't know if you guys know that Kevin Costner game, right, for baseball. So it's an uplifting movie, right? So if you are going to watch TV, watch something that's going to bring you up, not tear you down. Okay, another tip. Read daily. Mr. Provenzano, Mr. P, says if you read 10 pages per day, then you can finish a book in a few months. And I know Mr. Thomas has a book club, and I know Douglas Wolf's a part of one and leads it, I believe. And there's all kinds of things. But even on your own, you could read 10 pages a day. Everybody can find time. I'm a slow reader. Everybody can find time to read 10 pages a day. But read a good book. Read a book that's relevant to what it is that you need to do. Whatever your personal development stuff you have going on, read books that apply to that. If you don't know what books to read, ask your mentor, ask Mr. Thomas, ask me, right? We can lead you to books that can apply to whatever growth you're needing to go through. Daily devotions. And this is what I love about Mr. Thomas. And last week I showed you all 3 of my books, right? I literally read daily devotions out of 3 different books every day. And the one I read this morning actually applied to the woman that I had the private conversation with. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to her. That's part of it, you guys. It's not just about, when you serve other people, God says, serve other people, right? When you serve other people, it comes back to you handsomely. If you do it for the right intentions, if you don't do it to get something, if you do it to genuinely serve and to express your love and support and empathy and all that, it comes back to you. But the daily devotionals, they're quick reads, you guys. They're really quick reads. But I start every single morning. I think I told you guys this. I get up, I press the Keurig thing, right? I feed the cat and the dog. Keurig's done. I grab my 3 devotional books. I grab my angel cards. I have angel cards. And my little notebook for writing in my gratitude, which we're going to talk about. I go sit outside and I listen to the birds and I watch the deer walk by and I do all that, right? And I sit and I drink my coffee and I talk to God. And that's how I start off my morning. I don't turn on a TV, right? I don't listen to the news. By the way, all the crap that's happening in the world, or even my local community, there's nothing I can necessarily do about it. So why start my day with ugly? Like, right? Somebody's going to tell you throughout the day. Mr. Provenzano, like 15 years ago, said, stop watching the news. So I'm coachable. So I did, right? Guess what? People tell me the crap that's going on in the world. So I end up hearing about it. I don't have to watch it. So if you're starting your day off with the news, I lovingly suggest that you stop watching the news. Don't turn that on first thing. Now, if you have to watch the news because of your occupation or whatever, and you need that information, fine. But do it at the start of your workday, not the start of your day. Okay. Okay. Another tip: listen to positivity. Now, Mr. Thomas has several YouTube channels, and you can get on there and you can listen to his wisdom and his energy and all that. You have other leaders that he posts on there. While you're getting ready in the morning, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, pop that on, right? Pop on something that's positive. While you're driving, listen to stuff like that. You can also listen to topics, again, that you need to work on in your own personal development. And we can lead you to leaders that can kind of guide you on what that is. Okay, daily positive affirmations. Now, it was so cute. Regional Vice President Platinum, Miss Renata Krumer. It was so cute in Palm Springs yesterday. She started us off and she had us all stand up and stretch and really stretch out. You can really stretch out our spine, right? And then doing like this, she had us repeat all these amazing affirmations. And as we were doing this, and I do daily affirmations every day, but as we were doing this, I noticed my spine like straightened up and I just felt stretched and I felt amazing. And so that's a tool that I'm adding to my daily affirmations. And I learned that from being at an ACN event, you guys. So daily affirmations. But when you do your daily affirmations, what I usually do is I close my eyes and I visualize and I thank God. And some of you have heard the training be, do, have, right? Well, I did a training at a leadership in Tahoe this year, and I added to the be, do, have, be, have, do, be, or something like that. Anyway, somebody came up to me this week and I said, Ms. Roeder, can you clarify that for me? And I said, just absolutely. So my belief is we manifest, okay? We manifest things that we want. So that's why I sit quiet and I thank God for what he's already given me. He has already given me the lake house. He's already given me the pontoon boat, which is actually a true thing. We manifested the slip in the pontoon boat, which is funny. But anyway, but he's already given me the lake house. I'm not living in it yet, but he's already given it to me. I have visualizations of the lake house, of the pontoon boat, or the fishing boat, and what the lake looks like, and how it feels to live in that lake house, how it feels to have our friends and our family come to our house of refuge and retreat from their lives and drink from Jesus's cup of joy, is what I call it, and really just experience. So I was talking to somebody this weekend, and we're talking about this, and I said, when you visualize, yes, the secret, Kush, exactly. I said, I want you to imagine, like, I want you to experience it. We're talking about going somewhere, and I said, have you been there? She said, yes. I said, okay. I said, close your eyes. Do you remember what the smells are? It was another country. She said, yes. I said, do you remember what everything looks like? She said, yes. I said, so I was walking her physically feeling like she was present in that other country. And I said, then thank God for giving you that. You're not there right now, but if you do the work, it'll get you there. So that's where the daily positive affirmations of thanking God in advance for what he's already giving you. So live in the future. So for those of you who are on the call, when my friend said, oh, what would you do if you had FU money? And I was like, I already have FU money. He's like, you do? I'm like, I live in the future, right? And so when you live in the future and you can physically experience what it is you want today, in time, and then do the work, serve the people, right? In time, you will have what it is that you are looking for. Okay. Now I want to talk to you, some of you, okay, about this. Negative thoughts and negative words. I want you to do an exercise, and I've talked about this before in some of these calls. I want you to intentionally listen to your thoughts. I want you to intentionally listen to your words that you say about yourself or about other people or about the traffic or whatever. And every time you catch yourself, I want you to start catching yourself. Every time you catch yourself saying anything negative, oh, that was stupid. Okay, that's negative. Okay. Anything you say that's negative, I want you to catch yourself and I want you to reframe it. I want you to say something positive. Don't beat yourself up for saying something negative, right? But catch yourself and then reframe it. Say something positive. It's interesting if you choose to do that, you're going to start hearing it from other people. So my first flight to Palm Desert, my flight to Palm Desert, I should say, I am a princess, right? And so I always park in the garage, right? And I have TSA pre-check. And so I usually try to get to the airport hour and a half or so hour before my flight. And I'll park in the garage and then I'll walk the little doodly thing across the thing. And then I'll get on the tram and then I'll get to the thing and then I'll go have a drink. And then I will, because I fly in the middle of the day, and then I will get on the plane, right? So this Friday, I accidentally left 30 minutes late, which is fine. It's still plenty of time. And then I hit traffic. So, oops. Oh, I guess this is why they say you should get there early, right? And so then, no big deal. Twiddle my little happy butt too, and I get to the airport, plenty of time. And like an hour and a half or hour or something like that. And I see the sign saying garage is full. I was like, oh, and it said daily lot full. I'm like, oh, where am I going to park? And then it said East Economy open. I'm all, oh, I got to park out there, right? And so turn around and I find East Economy. I was like, well, I haven't parked out here like 10 years. And so pull in. I'm like, okay, parking spot. Angels, I need a spot on the end. I like my car, so I like the spot on the end. Nothing. So I'm like, oh, okay, now I just need a spot, right? And so I'm in the back 40, got a spot on the end, but there's nobody out there. Anyway, so I'm watching the time and I'm like, I might miss my flight. This is funny, right? And so I total my little happy butt to the little station thing, right? And I'm waiting. No buses. But I see people at the other station. I thought, oh, if I walk over there, it'll be faster, right? I'll just get on the bus with them. Toodle over there. Bus goes by. Clearly they're full. I'm watching the time. I'm like, if I'm not meant to be on the plane, right? So bus shows up, people like freaking out, and I'm like, okay. We get on the bus, get over there, go through TSA, get to my gate. Now, plane shows up, right? And so just in time. And so a guy is like standing there complaining, and trying to engage with me in a negative way. And I'm like, I said something positive, and I don't know what he was saying. It was just rude. And I remember thinking, dude, like, I'm lucky to be standing here right now. I almost missed the flight. And you complaining isn't going to make this process faster. So why are you complaining? Like, what you complaining doesn't mean that we all get to get on the plane faster, dude. Just shut your trap or don't talk to me, because I live in peace, love, and joy, and I don't need your negativity. So I actually walked away from the dude. So I share that story with you because how many of you would have been like, when you left a half an hour late, right? And then you hit traffic, right? And then you can't park, freaking out that you might miss your plane, and then the buses go by, right? You guys, why stress over something you have no control over? And I did not have any anxiety about any of it at all. Like, who cares? Whatever. It's happening the way it's happening. If you don't have any control over it, don't stress over it. Okay. Now, another tip. We've talked about this before. Average of 5. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are you spending the most time with? And what topics of discussion are you having? Are they positive? Are they one that progress you towards your goals personally, financially, with your family? Are the people that you're spending the most time with helping you intentionally have peace, love, and joy? And if any one of those 5 people are not somebody who helps you find peace, love, and joy, maybe consider reducing the amount of time you spend with them. I'm not saying get rid of them altogether, but I am suggesting that maybe you consider reducing how much time you spend with them, being aware, right? Marvina, find somebody else. Like I did, joking. Anyway, right? But here's the thing. As much as my 27 years with my ex-husband, not all of it was bad. Not all of it was bad. However, I did dim my light to make some accommodations, and I'll never do that again. I will never dim my light for anybody ever again. Never, never, ever will I ever dim my light for anybody again. I am living the path that God designed me to be. So watch out, world. So how can you get to that part? How can you get to the part where you can stand adamantly and say, I live in peace, love, and joy, and nobody will ever dim my light again? How can you get there? You have to go through the muck. You have to do the work. You have to be intentional. And when you're intentional, then you become aware of the people that are around you. When you catch yourself being negative and you shift that thinking, you shift those words. I told you on my mirror, I wrote on a piece of paper, I am full of God's grace. I have only positive thoughts. I only speak kind words. Do I every once in a while slip? Yeah, I catch myself, but you know what? Every day I get better at it. Mr. Provenzano, we talked about this. He does that intentionally to not say anything negative, only have positive thoughts and all of those things. And every day he fails, but every day he gets better at it. And that's what I do too. I do that because he suggested, or he said that's what he does, right? So I'm coachable. I do what other people who have what I want do. Am I perfect at it? No. Am I working at it? Absolutely. So when you are intentional, you can actually absolutely make a difference. Okay, another tip. Intentionally smile. Intentionally smile. Here's the thing. Your face says everything, right? So your face tends to say your thoughts. And if your thoughts are negative, odds are your face is going to be frowny rat, right? So intentionally smile. When you intentionally smile, then you will in time just organically smile. I've told this story before, and I told it in Palm Springs. When I started intentionally smiling, I just was always smiling. And it wasn't always a smile, but just a grin. Well, and my daughter, I picked her up in school and she was junior high. I'm driving along, and my daughter and I are super close, like super, super, super close. But one day I remember she was a teenager right during this time. She was like, oh my God, your mom, you're so annoying. I'm like, why am I annoying? She's like, all you ever do is smile. You're always smiling. And she's like yelling at me that I'm always smiling. I'm like, okay, kid, if that's your biggest problem with your mom, that she's always smiling, then okay, right? Like, are you seriously irritated with me that I'm smiling? I thought that was the funniest thing. But here's what my reality in that moment. I was like, I didn't even know I was smiling. Didn't know I was smiling. I was happy. I picked up my kid from school. She's physically safe. And I'm with her and all those things. There's so many blessings that I have. And so I guess I just started always smiling. And so when you intentionally smile and you intentionally smile at other people, it's beautiful. One of the things I love about the community I live in now, everybody waves at everybody, whether you're in the golf cart, whether you're walking, whether you're driving, because you can't drive past 25, right? Everybody waves at everybody. You go to the beach, everybody's like, hey, I mean, they're just like friendly. Everybody is so freaking friendly here. And I love it. I'm like, I found my people, right? And then it's funny. I leave the compound. We call it compound. And I find myself like, I'll drive through my parents' neighborhood and you can't drive faster than 25 in their neighborhood either. And I'll find myself waving. People are like, why are you waving at me? Oh my God, I'm not in my own compound anymore. Like the rest of the world isn't like we are. It's crazy. But who cares? I'm like, wave and say hi to everybody, because why not? What if I waved and said hi and smiled at somebody who needed it that day, who was having a bad day, and some random person looked them in the eye and smiled and waved and said, hi, are you having a good day? Have a great day, or whatever, right? Imagine how you could change that person's life forever, because you just don't know. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with this. You've heard me do the training on my dad's saying, right? My dad was a Vietnam War vet and did things in Vietnam that we're not going to talk about. But when he came back, his saying has been this for 50 some odd years: you're entitled to a bad moment, but not a bad day. The moment is over. Fix the flat tire, whatever. You forgot to pay a bill, pay the bill, whatever. You can't pay your bill. Okay, well, figure that out. You're entitled to a bad moment, but not a bad day. And if you adopt that mindset, because reality is crap happens, right? That's reality. Crap happens. Okay. If I miss the flight, all right, well, that's crappy, right? But I can't fix, I can fix it by getting on another flight or driving or whatever, right? You're entitled to a bad moment, but not a bad day. And then write out every day. I think I might have talked about this already. I was meeting with the woman who does Mary Kay, and she was telling me about when she almost died. And when she was coming out of that process, her mom, who is a child psychologist, so this woman was an adult when this happened. Her mom said, listen, I want you to do an exercise. Get a journal, and for 365 days, I want you to write every day 5 things of gratitude. Every day. 5 things of gratitude, only 5. She said, but you cannot repeat them. And what she explained to me she said, when I went through that process, not being able to repeat them every day, having to find 5 new things of gratitude. And then she also added 2 new things you learned every day, if you want to throw that one in. But here's the thing. What I'm finding is I have far more than 5 every day. When I go to today, I wrote 6, right? And I could have kept going. Every day, when you look for things to be grateful for, when you live in gratitude, I'm telling you, this is where you find peace, love, and joy. When you intentionally catch yourself being negative and you shift that thinking, when you have a bad moment but not a bad day, when you live in gratitude, when you look for things to be grateful for, when you write it down, when you thank God or whoever you worship, right, or universe or whatever, when you are grateful and you express and say thank you for those things, that is my opinion how you start the journey of finding peace, love, and joy. So be intentional. And I'm going to end how I started. How do you start and end your day? How do you start and end your day? And if you find that those activities are not helping you progress towards peace, love, and joy, and the success it is you're looking for, maybe consider shifting those to activities that will do that. So that's what I have for you this month of July, Mr. Thomas. Again, I am so grateful to be a part of this and to have you in my life and the amazing people on this call. I am so looking forward to the next you know, what am I, 52? So the next 45 years of building a stand with you and being able to change lives and serve everybody. And so thank you. I love you. I respect you.